Hunting is what I know, it's what I need, it's what I am. I am consumed with the drive to hunt, and I am innately different than those around me. I don't hunt because I like to. I hunt because I was meant to hunt. I hunt because I was created to hunt. I was wired to hunt. Being wired to hunt is a way of life, a mindset, a passion. This is our way of life, and this is our story. My name is Mark Kenyon, and I am Wired to Hunt. If you spent any amount of time on my website, wiredtohunt.com, you'll know that I'm 100% obsessed with whitetails and hunting them. My life, and those of my closest hunting buddies, revolves around white-tailed deer. Shed hunting in the winter, habitat and food plots in the spring, scouting and stand preparation in the summer, and finally, hunting in the fall. For the hardcore whitetail hunter, it's truly a 365-day-a-year effort. This year, we're taking you along on that journey, documentary style, starting back in the winter of 2013, all the way through this upcoming hunting season. That story began 9 months ago, but we begin the telling of it today. Each winter and early spring, my friends and I take to the woods in search of fallen antlers. It helps us understand what bucks made it through the previous season, and gives us an excuse to be outdoors, and of course, it's just fun to collect some bone.
Oh my god! This thing is huge! This is amazing.
When it comes to antlers,
This is by far my biggest shed.
there's really no better place to shed hunt than Iowa. 3 members of our team are lucky enough to call this place home.
Where's the hunt calendar model?
This is Pete. He's the funny guy at the team. Fast to crack a joke or do something ridiculous.
When that one fall, Pete?
Yeah, one.
When did that fall?
We wanted to fall February 28th, but it took 2 more days. 6th February.
Hailing from the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, he's come a long way since moving to Iowa. He's now 100% big buck addict. Ross is the strategic genius of the group, and the most detail-oriented of my pals when it comes to understanding and planning for whitetails.
Embarrassing. This would have been the second shed I ever stepped on. I stepped on one other shed before. That one was actually buried and you couldn't even see it, so there's an excuse there. Probably brushed up against the brow tine there and totally missed it. And we've been walking some of the best deer sign ever, and we haven't found anything. And then here we come walk, and there's like one set of deer tracks in this whole 40-acre section right here, and there's a shed. So I guess I have a little bit of an excuse.
His wife, Kendall, is his constant companion and partner in crime.
Just complaining that there was absolutely 0 deer sign.
There are no deer tracks.
No deer tracks anywhere.
Not a one.
And I looked down, and literally less than 2 feet in front of me is a shed, and Ross stepped inside of it. It definitely was the hardest we had to work for. Took about an hour to chisel it out of the snow and ice. There's like 3 inches of ice over the base.
Together, they make one deadly whitetail duo. Once a year, a couple of us not so lucky to live in Iowa also get to make the trip out to the land of giants to look for antlers. And as usual, my buddy Corey and I made the trip this spring.
Well, we're out here today. It's a property Ross got for Wired to Hunt the Shed Hunt, and we got a really aggressive lab here. It's a nice 4-point side. He's learning how to find some sheds. I doubled back on a spot where a lot of snow. Doubled back a little bit because I saw some leaves, and sure enough, it's usually where you're going to go where you find a nice shed. So there's another shed over here we'll go pick up with some chewing marks on it.
After shed hunting, we quickly transition into preparing our properties for the upcoming hunting season. For me here in Michigan, that means a lot of food plot work. Just tilling up the section where we're going to plant our food plot screen. It's a mix of sorghum and Egyptian wheat, so we just want to till up this edge of the food plot. So we just tilled that up with my Groundhog Max and the new four-wheeler, and now my dad's driving up and down, just trying to pack down the soil a little bit. Then we're going to lay down the seed and fertilizer, pack it down one more time, and be ready to go. Plant Egyptian wheat and sorghum, and that's coming really nicely. Look at this. This year I worked incredibly hard to provide as much food as possible for the whitetails on my properties, and to do that I planted 3 different plots of Whitetail Institute forages. Well, it's August 22nd, and as the story has been for me all summer, I'm running behind. I got my back food plotted in this property early this month. Caught some rain, and it's been really dry ever since. I've been waiting for rain to come again, and now finally here it is. About 3 weeks later, I'm finally gonna get another good bit of rain coming in, so I had to hurry up and get here and get this planted. It's about 11. Was able to get everything tilled up, seeded, fertilized, and hopefully the rain comes tomorrow like it's supposed to, and we'll be in the money. Well, today, no rain. No rain at all for the next 10 days now, so that was a huge waste of time, and now I really just gotta pray that rain's gonna pop up in the forecast again and help those seeds germinate. Otherwise, I'm kind of screwed. So
this is a farm close to where I live and hunt, and they are avid anti-doe shooters. And you're just seeing a few of what's actually out in this field. There's probably 30 deer out here right now, and not one of them has a horn on it.
meet Stetson, a fellow Michigan resident. He's a hardworking dad, carefully balancing an addiction for whitetails and the responsibilities of being a father.
You gotta run in here to a food plot, check a camera, set up a stand in there for me, and get out of there quick. So, you ready?
Uh-huh.
Sure?
Uh-huh. Whoa. This is where I'm gonna hunt.
Back in Iowa, Pete, Ross, and Kendall were busily fine-tuning their setups this summer too.
When we were in here in January, we found this buck bed right here off this point. So we wanted to come back in and scout this spring so that we could get an idea of what he can see, where he's going, and then where we can set up on him. So when I'm just sitting in the bed here and I look back, there's a cornfield right back here about a couple hundred yards. From here I can see what he can see, and so what we're going to do, there's a nice couple trails that come off the bed. There's some really tall rubs right up here, and they kind of head off to that cornfield, so we're just going to back off just out of sight from him, pick a tree so that in October we can slip in here as close as we can get, so that when he gets up out of his bed we can shoot him as he stages before he gets to the field.
Uncle Pete tip of the week: a little tree wrapping. It's good for all things. Good for cover. Good for the tree. You pull said branch like this. You go around wrapping once. Usually this is where most people stop. Not me. I like to wrap twice.
Good wrap.
Yeah. So if you ever need to stalk a buck, these wrappings come in really good. They're not going to see you.
In addition to my hunting in Michigan, I'm also hunting this fall in southern Ohio. A friend and I headed down this summer to do some work on a new lease we picked up down there. Ready to go see some big bucks?
Been ready.
This is my buddy Josh, my best bud and a newly addicted deer nut. I worked my entire life to get him into deer hunting, and finally over the past few years, I've gotten through to him. Last year, in fact, he killed his first deer ever. Now he's ready to take that next step. While down in Ohio together, we were able to confirm our lease agreement, scout the new property, hang stands, and get a trail camera up. As excited as we were to check out this new property, we were even more thrilled after taking a drive that evening around surrounding back roads.
We just got some freaking awesome fellow footage, some giants down here in Ohio. We're pretty near our lease down here, and we just driving around the corner. 3 big shooter bucks in the edge of the field. We just pull up to the side, they ran in. Then while we're sitting there upset that we missed those 3, I look down the ways, and another 100 yards down the field, there's 2 other giants. What do you think, JL? It was awesome. Awesome. Alright, let's go find some more.
To sweeten the deal, we returned the next morning and bumped 3 different shooter bucks off the leased property while scouting. Needless to say, we can't wait to get back there in October. As usual, our group was scouring the back roads and fields all summer long in search of big deer in our hunting areas, and we weren't disappointed.
Coming out of the woods.
That's really good instincts there, Ross.
Sounds good, Ross.
They're going to be. So just repeat what he said, Kendall.
They should be coming out of
The woods.
woods.
We have a lot of woods here in Iowa. Ross thinks the deer are going to come out of the woods. I think they're bedding in the beans myself. So, okay, we've got a monster buck coming. Kendall's going to get ready. Hopefully it hasn't run away yet. Ross is really optimistically positive right now. And I'm just driving. I'm going to slow down a little bit. Guys, it's going to be Christmas here in about 2 seconds.
Talk about a screensaver. Look at that.
As great as seeing big bucks in the summer is, nothing is more exciting than spotting a buck you actually have hunted in past seasons. I in fact had this exact thing happen this year. Earlier this summer, I saw 2 very special bucks feeding in a newly sprouted crop field here down in southern Michigan. One buck I filmed last year and got trail camera pictures of, and I dubbed him Triple Threat. He was the biggest deer I'd seen in this area yet, and I was ecstatic. Unfortunately, when the season opened, he disappeared. On the other hand, the second buck was much more visible. This deer I dubbed Leaner. I filmed in the summer with Triple Threat as well, and then also got many trail camera pictures of him throughout the summer. Even in the hunting season, I ended up seeing him twice. He passed just out of range once at the end of October, and then in November I actually had a good opportunity at him, but botched it when I made a mistake with my grunt call.
He cruised through here. I almost got a shot at him. Just didn't come together.
Needless to say, I was really excited to see these 2 bucks return this summer. I just pulled trail camera, and I just got a couple giants. Right here we got a buck I call Leaner. I got pictures of him earlier this week in a different spot. He's a giant, and then behind him is the monster. We got pictures of him earlier this year. I filmed him earlier this year, and now I finally got pictures of them fully grown up, but I mean, just a freaking giant for Michigan. Wow. Oh my God. Now is that the same deer? I don't even know. Maybe is that a different deer or is it the same one? I'm freaking out. That is the biggest deer I think I'll ever see in Michigan on trail camera. That is an absolute mega giant. I think that's Triple Threat. Look at him. Without a doubt, these 2 bucks are at the top of my hit list, and I'm just counting down the days till I can get after them. I can't wait. Hunting season will be opening up any day now. It's true that a whitetail hunter's work is never through, but now that we're 9 months in, It's time for that work to finally pay off. I'm just dying to get up in a tree stand. The rustling leaves, the rising sun, the swirling fog. It's in those moments high up in a tree that I truly feel the most alive. This is our time of year. This is our passion. This is our life. We are wired to hunt.